Class is in session. MLB Hitting the Book Show, Tuesday, August 19th. Ian Cameron with you. Connor Mack will be here in just a moment. Back in baseball frame of mind today. Hope you made it yesterday for the the season premiere edition of the College Football Hitting the Book Show. It was great to be back. It's great to be talking about a college football betting card once again. If you missed it, make sure you check it out. We ran through all 4 Week 0 games taking place this Saturday to kick off the college football season. So make sure you check that out if you were not with us yesterday. And again, we will be doing college football Hitting the Book shows every Monday throughout the season, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, live. Looking forward to it. And MLB we will do on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for the rest of the season. So that'll be the schedule as far as Hitting the Books goes, at least for the foreseeable future. We are back to baseball today on the show and breaking down the Tuesday MLB card. So with that in mind, let's get right into it. We will begin with let me just see here. There we go. It will be the St. Louis Cardinals taking on the Miami Marlins. We've got Max McGreevy for the Cardinals, Edward Cabrera for the Marlins. Miami minus 140 home favorites. Total here at 8, shaded to the under in this game. Miami, unfortunately, comes up short. Disappointing. I had a small piece of the Marlins last night. Not a big bet because I didn't love the price, but still thought Miami with Yuri Perez was the right side. Unfortunately, the offense didn't do well, and the bullpen kind of caved in, and St. Louis gets an 8-3 win last night. Michael McGreevy here for the Cardinals. He's actually pitched a little bit better here in his last couple starts. Cubs and Rockies in his last 2 starts. He's given up just 3 runs in 12 innings. So they like the kid and showing signs of some improvement here in the last couple of starts. Edward Cabrera had been pitching awesome for the Marlins. He did run into trouble, though, in his last start against the Cleveland Guardians, allowing 5 runs on 7 hits in just 5.1 innings. I lean Miami again. I just don't like the price. I don't want to lay minus 140. It's a game of 2 teams going nowhere. I still do give Cabrera a bit of a pitching edge here, but minus 140 is not really a good enough price. I don't love it at this number. So no bet for me here when it comes to Cardinals and Marlins. It could be an under. I know yesterday's game went over the total, but McGreevy has pitched a little bit better, 2 starts in a row. And I still think Cabrera is pretty good. I think he can probably bounce back here at home from that rough outing against Cleveland. So I would lean under here in this game. Houston, Detroit, a good pitching matchup. Hunter Brown and, of course, Tarek Skubal, Tarek Skubal, I should say, one of the best pitchers, obviously, in baseball for the Tigers. Detroit minus 160. Home favorites, 7 the total, 7.5 in some spots. It's funny, this total is being bet up a little bit. And, I could see this being a sneaky over. I have no bet here. This is another game I passed on. Detroit went over the total by themselves last night in the 10-0 win over the Houston Astros. This Tigers lineup starting to swing the bat again. 8, 7, and 10 for them in the 3 of the last 4 games. No doubt this Tigers lineup starting to hit, and Houston's bats have been pretty much dead here. The last 4 games, they did score 5 in a win against Baltimore, and other than that, they have been shut out in 3 of their last 4 games. So it has not been pretty here for the Houston Astros right now and what we're seeing from them. Hunter Brown continues to give them a chance to win every time. He's been much, he went through a little, he was dominant to begin the year, went through a little bit of a rough patch, but last few starts, he's been better, 2 runs or less in his last 4 starts, which is really good. And like I said, with Skubal, he's been a little bit more hittable. I don't want to say he's been declined and he's fallen off here a little bit, but he has not been nearly as sharp as he was early in the season. I mean, Skubal in the last 18.2 innings over 3 starts, he's allowed 10 runs in the last 18 innings, which by his standards is not spectacular. Yet the Tigers won all 3 of those games because, again, they gave him pretty good run support. So I think this could be, but again, it's raining here just west of Toronto, and I think there's a chance that it could be some rain in the Detroit area tonight. So I see why people are maybe taking a shot with the over here at 7, such a low number, but I didn't bet it. Just a lean. CMAC is back with us.
Yeah.
What's up, my friend? What do you think here, Houston, Detroit?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is the Astros look pretty bad lately. I mean, I've seen some of these games. And I don't think it's with a line like this, I think it's too big. Screwball, the guy's unbelievable, but it's not easy to go out there all year long and keep delivering, especially when you start every single start like him too. So Brown's been finally good. He had his little hiccup there, a couple starts. He's been better this month. I think it's the Astros. I just think there's value with it, even though their team not playing great right now.
All right, next up, we've got the Toronto Blue Jays and Pittsburgh Pirates. Max Scherzer and Mitch Keller, the pitching matchup here. Jays minus 145, road favorites, 7.5, the total in this game. Pittsburgh taking the funny thing about Pittsburgh is they're a bad team. They've had a bad season, but they've actually been really good at PNC Park. I mean, they're 20 games below 500, but they're 6 above 500 at home, if you can believe it. 35 and 29. They actually have a pretty not just a respectable home record. They've got a good home record for what's a really bad team. You figured if they were going to beat Toronto, yesterday was a good day to do it because Paul Skeens was on the mound. He was very good. And obviously the Pirates get the 5-2 win. Pirates and Skeens in particular are able to shut down the Blue Jays lineup. This is where the advantage probably flips a little bit. Mitch Keller has not been great here the last month. He's given up 3 runs or more in 4 of his last 5 starts. Got ripped by the Brewers in his last outing. He does pitch better at home, as with a lot of these Pittsburgh starting pitchers. But will he be able to navigate this Blue Jays lineup, albeit a Blue Jays lineup with no Vlad Guerrero? He got injured last night and isn't in the lineup here tonight for them. Max Scherzer's been great. He's not Max Scherzer in his absolute prime, but this has looked pretty damn close to Max Scherzer in his prime the last few starts. He's given up just 4 runs in his last 19 innings. He'll give up maybe one home run ball. But other than that, it's a situation where, he's been pretty much dominant, other than the odd home run that he's given up. So it's a nice spot for the Jays. I think they do bounce back. I think they do win. I don't love the price, but I do lean Toronto. CMAC, what do you think? Jays, Pirates?
Yeah, I didn't like anything about this game, really. Blue Jays probably win. I mean, we're going to take them first 5 minus a half. I don't. So I'll be quick here. This is a pass.
There you go. We can move right on. All right, next up, New York Mets, Washington Nationals, David Peterson and Jake Irvin, the pitching matchup here. We got the Mets minus 200 road favorites, 9 the total here in this game. When I look at this matchup here, Mets and Nationals, Mets are starting to come out of their hibernation, their funk a little bit. They had a nice series over the weekend versus the Mariners, winning the last 2 games, starting to hit once again. That probably bodes well for them against Jake Irvin. Jake Irvin's been awful. 3 starts in a row. He's given up 15 runs in his last 13 innings. That's not good. When you're giving up more runs than innings pitched, you got a problem. You're not pitching well. And that's Jake Irvin right now for the Nationals. Meanwhile, you got Peterson. I don't love his form. 10 runs allowed in his last 9.1 innings. Like Irvin, he's given up more runs than he's pitched innings here the last couple starts. That's not what you want to see. Now, he has dominated the Nationals. 2 runs allowed to the Nationals in over 20 innings. So he has completely shut down the Nats in the past. Can he keep that going? That's going to be the question. I was tempted to go just Mets team total over because I think they're really going to do damage against Irvin. And Peterson's dominated the Nats, but Peterson's form's not great. I'm hoping the Nationals can help me out a little bit and contribute some offense here to this total, because I ended up going with 9, the full game over, instead of just the Mets team total. So, that's what I liked here. Over 9 here, Mets and Nats. CMAC, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd be on the Nats here. There's some prices here tonight. I'd like to be on maybe a little bit more games than I am, but I just don't think this team should be laying it. Jake Irvin's had some trouble with the Mets. He's had some very good starts against them too the last couple of years. Only one this year where he gave up 4. And, he kind of hasn't been the same guy, which the last couple of years of betting on him.
I should also say, when deciding to go over 9 CMAC instead of Mets team total, the Mets bullpen, I'm still not sold that they've solved their problems.
They've been shaky. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I agree. Peterson, the guy was great, and he's very good at home. but he's like coming back to like he's a good lefty, but not like a great lefty. So Nats, lineup's a little bit different now. A lot more righties here, other than the just the top two with Wood and Abrams. With all these guys in now, Adams, Cruz, House, Young. So yeah, I think there's runs. I'd be on the Nats. I mean, I think the value's there with them. This Mets team is dog shit on the road, and their 8 games over 500. You want to lay that with them?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Yeah.
Even though I think they hit Irvin and probably score some runs tonight, I don't want to lay minus 200, and especially
Brag my guy, Jake the Snake Irvin.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, I'm not ready to lay minus 200. Now, okay, good job. Beat a pretty good Seattle team 2 in a row, but I'm not ready to lay minus 200. I am with you on that, and I applaud you for taking a shot with the Nationals here. All right, next up, we've got the Mariners and Phillies. We've got Bryce Miller for the Mariners and the great lefty who's having a phenomenal season for the Phillies, Christopher Sanchez. Phillies minus 220, home favorites, 8 the total. I got nothing here. I mean, I'm not stepping in front of Sanchez, but minus 220. I don't want Seattle, though. Seattle's not playing good ball. Logan Gilbert, of all people, and who's usually reliable, gets rocked last night by the Phillies. So they have not had a good road trip. Let's be honest. Mariners stink on this road trip. They have not played really good baseball. And this goes back to the Baltimore series, when this road trip started. They lost 2 of 3 in that series. They lost 2 of 3 to the Mets. They get bombed by the Phillies last night. They're not a team I'm all that excited about backing right now, Seattle, on this road trip. They've not been very good. CMAC, what do you think?
Hopefully it changes. But, man, I was waiting for this with this fucking Mariners team. They make the trades with the bats, but I mean, what have they lost? 5 of 6?
Yep.
But they were on the road, these games, like you just hit on.
Yep.
The game yesterday, when we touched on it at the end of the show, I think the pitcher's not in good form. Man, they weren't. There was runs. I stayed off it. Runs, and runs. Sanchez has just been so dominant at home. I think he could shut them down here. Really, I'll dare this Mariners team. It just doesn't look very good to score 4 runs. So I like their team total under.
All right, Mariners team total under. All right, Baltimore, Boston. We both kind of called it that. I know it was a college football show, but right at the end, we did give a couple leans on the MLB card yesterday, and we both kind of thought Baltimore was live last night, and sure enough, they get the job done, winning against Boston in the series opener. Tomoyoki Sugano to the mound for them tonight, and Walker Buehler for Boston. Red Sox minus 145, home favorites, 9 the total in this game. This another spot, again, Orioles are pass for me once again. But let's give Baltimore a little bit of credit here. They've won 5 of their last 6. They beat Seattle 2 of 3. They took 2 of 3 at Houston against the Astros, another playoff-bound team. They beat Boston last night, another team that's in a playoff position. They're playing really good baseball, Baltimore. And they are going to be one of these teams in the last month of the season, even though they're way out of it. They're going to play spoiler, and they're going to be a thorn in everybody's backside, I think, down the stretch of the season. Let's be honest, they've underachieved. They probably should be better than the season they've had, Baltimore. But now, they're starting to, piece things together. The lineup's finally relatively healthy, and they're starting to get some pretty good pitching. And look no further than Tomoyoki Sugano, who after some really poor outings early in the season, he's turned things around. He's given up 3 runs or less in 4 straight starts. Baltimore has won each of Sugano's last 4 starts. Baltimore 4-0. In the last 4 starts with Sugano on the mound. So I don't want to lay minus 145 here with Boston and with Buehler. Now, to Buehler's credit, he has pitched a little bit better since the All-Star break. He did struggle a bit last time against Houston, but no, there's no doubt he's been a little bit better here since the All-Star break. But I'm still not ready to lay minus 145 here with Boston. And Boston is just 3-6 in their last 9 games. So I didn't bet Baltimore tonight, and I'm not sure I will. But I certainly lean that way. Orioles are pass for me at this price. CMAC, what do you think?
Yeah, just took the winning from yesterday with them because I think Sugano could get.
I worry about that part of Sugano a little bit. Yeah.
Weird too. All over money. Yeah. 9.5 to 9s. I mean, if that doesn't bother you, I'm just throwing that out there. I gotta think there's some runs here. And Sugano, fly ball pitcher. Even though he's been pretty good lately, it seems like a road start where you could get hit. Just the Red Sox, a little bit, shaky of late, and an Orioles team that just keeps winning. No pressure, huh? Just that's all it takes. And you start hitting the baseball. So I think it's them. And I lean under. I mean over here with the 9. You know, especially you have 9, not 9.5. It's just those always so big.
Yeah.
For me, you know, like an 8.5 to a 9, stuff like that. It's just huge. So. Yeah.
Well, look at last night. You talk about 9 versus 9.5. You're losing that bet and not pushing it if the total's 9.5 with that late 2 runs that the Red Sox got last night to make it 6-3. You know, it landed right on 9. So it is a big difference, obviously, 9 versus 9.5, especially in a ballpark like that. All right, Chicago White Sox, Atlanta Braves. We've got Smith on the mound here. Shane Smith for the Chicago White Sox. Bryce Elder for the Atlanta Braves. Atlanta minus 160 home favorites, 8.5 the total in this game. White Sox took the opener last night, 13-9. It was a pitcher's nightmare actually last night. We saw Spencer Strider struggle. We saw Yoendrys Gomez have a rough night. The bullpen struggled, but the White Sox end up winning 13-9. You know, the White Sox are actually 5-1 in the last 6 meetings against Atlanta. Now, they haven't played each other very much, but White Sox have actually played them quite well. Shane Smith's been solid. Let's give him some credit. He doesn't give you a lot of length, but he's given up 2 runs or fewer in 4 straight starts here for the White Sox. I'm still not a big Elder fan. He was better against the Mets in his last start, went 7 innings, gave up just 3 runs, but he was hit around just a little bit before that. We'll see how he fares here in this one. I'm not laying minus 160 with Atlanta. I'm not laying minus 160 with Bryce Elder. I'm going to dabble in Chicago here at this price, plus 140. I think it's worth it. CMAC, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so too. Fuck. Elder could get away with it when his split and sinkers work and he gets ground balls. But I mean, he's just consistently, even at home, giving up runs.
Yep. And
White Sox, I know they scored a ton. They didn't have many runs the series before versus the Royals, but I think they could get some in this game. So I think their team total's live, and I think they're live. I get, Smith's a little bit. Braves finally lose after winners of 5 or 6 in a row. This price is just crazy with the Braves.
All right, New York.
Know something here? I mean, they love these guys all of a sudden. They win a couple games, and I think they're the Braves again.
Yeah, I know. They had a little hot streak. Now they come back home here, and even last night they're laying minus 200. And, of course, they end up losing.
Yeah, that I didn't play. That hurt me, man. I'm like, God, what am I doing?
I'll be honest. I didn't love the pitching matchup for Chicago last night, but they still.
Yeah. I thought they could hit Strider, though, a little bit. He's
sure did. Yeah.
He's off.
Yeah. Hopefully they're live tonight, and they show it that they're live tonight here, the White Sox, because I definitely am going to look to take some kind of bet here on the White Sox.
I think they could score some runs. I think we're at the team totals, kind of where
yeah, that's another option if you prefer that. Yeah. Yankees and Rays. We've got Carlos Rodon, Shane Baz on the mound. Yankees minus 130 road favorites, 8 the total. Yankees building a little momentum. It's been a long time since we've heard the term win streak thrown around regarding the New York Yankees, but they sweep St. Louis, and all of a sudden they're on a little 3-game win streak. Now, can they keep it going here against Tampa Bay? That remains to be seen. The Rays end up winning 2 of 3 over the weekend against a floundering San Francisco team. We'll see if they can come back home and keep it rolling. The home record, they actually have an above 500 home records, Tampa Bay, so they played a little bit better at home. Baz is just not in good form, though. Baz has given up 14 runs in his last 16 innings. It's just not very good. He got walloped by the Yankees in this ballpark earlier this year, giving up 5 runs in 3.1 innings. Yet the Rays won that game, came back to win that game 10-8 back in April. Rodon here for the Yankees. He's been very solid his last 2 starts. We'll see if he can keep that up. He shut out the Rays back in April in this ballpark, shut him out in a 1-0 Yankee win. So I lean Yankees, but I don't know. I'm still a little hesitant to pull that trigger when it comes to, let's bet on the New York Yankees. But they have picked it up. They have won 3 in a row. It was a good sweep against St. Louis. They took care of business. Tampa is coming back from the West Coast, on a long trip out there. So, and I lean Yankees, but I'm still just a little hesitant to hit that confirm bet button when it comes to the Yankees. CMAC, what do you think?
Yeah, they have the day off, but this one 8.5 to 8. you think if you like the Yankees, it leans more to the over. I mean, they're going to score runs like they did against the Cardinals. The offense comes alive. And I think you like the Rays, you kind of lean under here. All money on the Yankees, which I like. I mean, I didn't want them minus 130, and it's come down a little bit here. All money on them has dropped. Not crazy, but 125, 123. I stayed off. I could see the Yankees kind of roll here, but I couldn't do it. No way. And Boz has just not been right this last month. He's been off.
Yep, he has. Like I said, Yankees are past. I got still a little bit of heebie-jeebies with the Yankees. I still like leery. I'm like, no, don't do it. I think they should win. I would lean that way, but you're right. I'm just still a little gun shy when it comes to the Yankees, but I do think they do win. All right, next up, Texas, Kansas City. We've got Merrill Kelly, Seth Lugo, the pitching matchup. Texas minus 115, road favorites, 8.5, the total in this game. I was on the Royals last night. I feel like I'm considering flip-flopping tonight and going with Texas. Now, Texas bullpen's bad. I probably should have split it up with first 5 full game money line here in this one rather than just full game. But I don't like where Lugo's trending right now. This is an older pitcher. Let's not forget that. Thrown, a lot of innings in his career. It's now the tail end of the season. He looks like he's running out of gas. He's given up 4 home runs in his last 2 starts against Minnesota and Washington. Not exactly big-time lineups, Twins and Nats, and he's given up 14 runs in 8 innings in those 2 starts, Seth Lugo. I think he's running out of gas. Merrill Kelly, to me, is probably the better arm. So, yeah, I like Texas here as a short road favorite. Just hope their bullpen for once can close out a game. For once. CMAC, what do you think?
Running out of gas. Running on empty.
Yep.
Jackson Brown.
He's Jackson Browning it right now, Seth Lugo. Yeah.
Seth Lugo, Jackson Browning it. He's got that crazy numbers. Like, I don't know, 39 at bats. Some of these guys, but really only Jock's the only one for 16. We've already talked about him enough this year. I think he can have a better start. I mean, he hasn't looked very good, but I don't trust these offenses at all. And Merrill Kelly's been a guy that's just innings eater. Seems like he's going to go 6, maybe give up a couple. So under for me, unless these offenses come alive.
I can see that. Yeah,
I don't buy it.
Yeah, I'm scared with Lugo because it's been so bad the last 2 starts. Maybe Kansas City team total under. I would isolate, but yeah, lean under for the full game. Says CMAC here. Then and you never. The one thing I will say about is that even though Lugo's been bad the last 2 starts, sometimes Texas lineups can make struggling pitchers suddenly look good. So we'll see if that happens here tonight. All right, Athletics and Minnesota Twins. This guy is just, you can't score on him anymore. Jacob Lopez, what a story he's been for the A's, the lefty. You just don't score runs against him anymore. What is he on, a 3 or 4 start, consecutive start, scoreless streak? It's absolutely absurd what he's doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota, Joe Ryan, Minnesota minus 135, home favorites, 8.5, the total in this game. Yeah, I'm on the A's. I mean, you're going to give me a plus money with this kid, and I thought he was going to finally get hit last time, and he still wasn't. So, he's pitching well, and I don't like going up against Joe Ryan, but Minnesota's playing awful baseball for the most part, laying a price like this against a red-hot pitcher, and the A's actually play a little bit better on the road than they do at home. So I think the A's are worth it here, plus 115. CMAC, what do you think? A's, Twins.
Yeah, I think so too, maybe a little bit. I stayed off this game. One thing our guys, though, I hate it too. Like, if I pull the trigger, I hate that this line's moved with the Ranger game that we just talked about. They're minus 110 now. It's just too late to the party a little bit. But they are kind of the sharp look here. Yeah, I think Ryan can pitch well in this game. I mean, we've hit on Lopez, this guy. I don't know what he's doing, what he's on, but I think he's got pretty good stuff, but I don't think he's great. So, I don't know. I think their way, but this game was just a pass for me.
All right, Milwaukee Brewers, Chicago Cubs. This is a second game of a doubleheader. They played earlier this afternoon. Cubs won that game 6-4. We've got Brandon Woodruff taking on Jamison Taillon back in the rotation here for the Cubs. Milwaukee minus 115, road favorite, 6.5 the total. I think it's a good price, good spot for Milwaukee. You know how I feel about these doubleheaders. The team that wins the first game, I usually like betting against them in the second game. And plus with this Milwaukee team, they have that crazy, 12-game win streak. They get it snapped against Cincinnati on Sunday, but they bounce back. They show that bounce back ability last night and beat the Cubs, or yesterday afternoon, I should say, and beat the Cubs. Now they lose to the Cubs in the first game of the doubleheader this afternoon. They've shown a great bounce back ability, this Milwaukee team, and it would not shock me to see that again. And I have a little more confidence in Woodruff right now than Tyone coming back from the rotation. Who the hell knows what you're going to get from him, and if he's on a pitch count, which he might be. So, yeah, I'll take the Brewers at this price in a bounce back spot. -115. CMAC, what do you think?
I mean, it seems like a layup, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, though. I don't know what we get here from Tyon. Has he even pitched since he's been back here? No, right?
No, this is his return to the rotation. Yeah.
Yes, this is his return.
Yeah.
So that's just not backable. Woodruff, I think he's going to get hit. This Cubs team finally scored some runs. But that offense has been, talk about fucking asleep. Dead. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, Brewers. How can you not?
They burned through their bullpen pretty good, too, the Cubs. They had to use Palencia, the closer, in the ninth inning today. Danny Palencia, who's pitched so well for them. So I worry that he's not going to be available tonight for the second game of the doubleheader. So, like I said, I think the bullpen edge probably goes to Milwaukee tonight as well.
Wind blowing in here in this game at Wrigley. Yeah, I lean Brewers. Yeah. Maybe the first 5.
And what's always the tell about the wind blowing in is that the total's always 7.5, 7, 6.5, something like that.
Yeah, the 6
with the wind blowing in. Yeah, and that's exactly what you got here. All right, Dodgers Rockies. We've got the Dodgers -290 road favorites, 12 the total here at Coors Field. Emmett Sheehan and Austin Gomber, the pitching matchup here in this game. The Dodgers, you can't script this shit. You really can't. You really can't. I mean, they get swept by the Angels. It's awful the way they played in that series. They come back home and they against a red-hot Padres team that had them in their crosshairs, and the Dodgers end up sweeping the Padres over the weekend. Ownage continues over San Diego, and then you fucking come back to last night against Colorado and you lose 4-3, and the bats don't get going against the Rockies. You can't make sense of this Dodgers team right now. You really can't. The fortunate thing for the Dodgers is Padres lost last night too, so they don't lose any ground in the NL West. But Sheehan on the mound, he's had some good and some bad. He got roughed up by the Angels in his last start. We'll see if he can bounce back from that. Gomber's just not been really good. I mean, he's given up 4 runs or more in 5 straight starts. 7.96 ERA in his last 5 starts. But again, this Dodgers team last night, you thought in Colorado, you faced Freeland and really had a hard time scratching runs across. So, yeah, it's a pass for me. And by the way, these totals are starting to stay under now in Colorado. There's been some high totals lately. 4 of their last 5 home games have gone under these big totals in the 12-13 range. So, be careful. Be careful with overs right now. These games are not going over the last few here in Colorado. CMAC, what do you think?
Yeah, it's a little high. I mean, I kept thinking fucking Gomber's better than him, and he just fucking keeps pitching horrible. He's just horrible. He's been so bad.
Yep.
Every start seems like he gives up a 4 or 5 spot, like in the 4th inning. And I'm like, man, is this guy really this bad now? Is he injured? I mean, whew. So, but again, Dodgers really own the Rockies. They lost last night. He talked about it. It's a classic, just a shitty spot. The high of the Padres.
Fucking letdown spot after sweeping the Padres there, and they kind of laid one last night.
Just bad plays. Hernandez out in the outfield. It's like ring around the rosy bullshit. So, but again, the Dodgers shouldn't be this price. So that's it.
Yeah, no bet for me here. Yeah, I got nothing there either. All right, Reds and Angels. We've got Hunter Green and Kyle Hendricks, the pitching matchup. Cincinnati -130 road favorites, 8.5 the total. I'm going to take Cincy again. Cashed a ticket with Cincinnati last night in the opener. I just thought pretty cheap price for the Reds, playing pretty well. They ended Milwaukee's double-digit win streak. They took 2 of 3 from Philadelphia. Cincinnati and Terry Francona's team, they're battling for their wild card lives right now, and they're still in it. They're still very much in the race. They get the win last night, 4-1. Hunter Green looked awesome against Philadelphia in his return to the rotation. 6 strong shutout innings, 6 strikeouts, only 3 hits allowed in those 6 shutout innings from Hunter Green against Philadelphia. So he looks like he's a bet-on pitcher to me. He's always had the capability to be, an ace-level pitcher in this staff, and he certainly looked good coming back from the IL. Kyle Hendricks has not looked so good last 2 starts against Detroit and the Dodgers. 8 runs allowed in his last 8.1 innings. We'll see how he fares here tonight against this Reds team. Like I said, Hunter Green looked great coming out. The Angels are starting to slump again. Other than sweeping the Dodgers, that's the anomaly. Because other than that, they've not been good. They lose a series to Detroit. They lose 2 or 3 out in Sacramento against the Athletics over the weekend. So I like the price enough here with Green and the Reds, minus 130 to take them. CMAC, what do you think here? Reds, Angels.
Yeah, Reds just kind of beat up on the Angels a bunch. I don't trust Green, though, in this start. I think he could hit. He looked really good that last one. This was the game that I'm closest to. I just need a little bit more time. Hendricks, we kind of know what you're going to get, but I don't know if the Reds at this price should be back. Seems pretty simple, but I think the Angels are live and
all right,
could get to Hunter Green here tonight.
All right, saying the Green won't keep that up, says Connor Mack here tonight. I'd look great in that first start. We'll see if he can keep it rolling here against the LA Angels. All right, we got 2 games left. Next up, San Francisco and San Diego. It is Nick Pivetta, who's had a really good season overall for the San Diego Padres. Credit to him. He's been great, and it's Kai-Wei Tang on the mound here for the Giants. San Diego minus 220 home favorites, 8 the total. Now, they destroyed San Francisco last week, sweeping 3 games in San Francisco, but San Francisco got them last night, 4-3. They beat the Padres. So the Padres slumping ever since they swept San Francisco on the road. They get swept by the Dodgers, and then they lose the first game at home to San Francisco last night. So they've lost 4 in a row. If they're ever going to get out of it, it's tonight, because this Kai-Wei Tang guy has been a dreadful for the Giants. 12 runs. I'm going to keep it simple. Sandy, if this is not the night for come on, enough. 4 losses in a row. The Dodgers took a big shit on you over the weekend. Tatis and Machado and, the new guys, too, that they brought in for this lineup. It's time to get your asses in gear. This is a spot where you're supposed to hit. This is a spot where you're supposed to do some damage here, because this guy's been friggin' horrific for the San Francisco Giants. So I'm going to go with the Padres team total here, over 4.5. I think this is the spot for their offense to spring back to life. CMAC, what do you think here? Giants, Padres.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to back Kai-Wei Tang here, but I think that's the only way to go. I mean, I just don't think the Padres should be this big a number. Flat out, the offense that they have, we'll see if they can get the Tang. All the money's on them here. Seems like over 80%. Tickets of money. This line just keeps falling down. Giants suck. They remember they're getting their ass kicked. This team's been horrible. I mean, just these games are always tighter. They were tight last night. I think the Giants are live. All
right, Giants. Certainly money line, I would only take the Giants, but I just get that feeling the Padres bats are going to get going here. This is the spot. This is the pitcher to do it against. This is the weakest pitcher you faced and all. I will say this: they faced a lot of good Dodgers pitchers over the weekend. Not making an excuse for San Diego, but you did go up against Kershaw, who's been really good the last few starts. Snell, who's looked good the last few starts, and Glasnow. That's a pretty good trio when they're on. Like I said, not that
when they're there, when they're held, like if they're guys are made out of glass.
Like, let's go here. Rise, Tatis, Machado, O'Hearn, who they got from Baltimore, Bogarts, who's been swinging at better sheets. It's time for that lineup, I think, to get going. This better be tonight. If it's, let's say they lose like 3-2 tonight, and I'd start pushing just a mild little panic button if I'm a Padres fan, because that would be, I'd be getting a little.
I've seen enough of it already this year. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. No doubt. Yeah, Machado's got to
especially at home, some of these games.
Yeah, a little overrated, Manny Machado. I'm just calling it like I see it. All right, next up we've got
very talented, but he's overrated. Yeah, I mean, guy can flat hit and everything, but I don't know if he's the best teammate either. But
I agree with that. All right, Cleveland, Arizona, final game. Guardians, Diamondbacks. Yeah, the over did not go well, but I'm tempted to go back to it here tonight. Arizona minus 125, home favorites, 8.5 the total. I don't trust these two pitchers. Bybee hasn't been sharp the last few starts. Now, Eduardo Rodriguez has been, I guess, a little bit better, but still not someone I fully trust. I'm a little bit concerned Cleveland's numbers against left-handed pitching lately have not been that good. But nevertheless, I think 8.5, a low-scoring game last night, 3-1. I think maybe it could go flip the other way here tonight a little bit. So, yeah, I do like the over 8.5 here. Guardians, Diamondbacks. CMAC, anything here? Cleveland, Arizona.
I kind of think so, too. It's just D-backs. Man, they look pretty bad. The last few games against the Rockies, yesterday, the at-bats were awful. There's just a lot of quick innings. But Bybee's just, he's got, almost a 6 ERA on the road. Rodriguez off a decent start, right?
Yeah.
Where he didn't get shelled there versus the Rockies.
He was good against Colorado, but he was shelled before that in Arizona. Yeah. This ballpark here. Yeah.
And he's been kind of weird. It seems like he's going to give up 5 or 6, or he might give up 2. Like he's been in kind of that a little bit, especially, the last 2 months. But I have to say, no way I could take the D-backs. I'll be on the Guardians again.
Yeah, laying a price with them, not something I'm all that excited about. No question about that. And Cleveland's still the team that's in contention. Arizona's obviously long out of it. Cleveland's still trying to battle for that final wild card spot in the AL. So I do lean Cleveland as well, but the over is my preferred approach there in that game. All right, there we have it. That's the Tuesday card. Jack of the day, home run props, CMAC. Anything that you took with that?
Not really. Go ahead, take it away.
Oh, I hear you on that. Yeah, definitely. It's as far as home run props tonight. I think there's going to be some rain in some of these games. You're right. There's just the board was just not standing out for me clearly as much as we've seen in some of these recent games. But when I look at it, there are still a couple that I'd be interested in. Lindor's got a homer against Jake Irvin. Brandon Nimmo for the Mets has 2 home runs against Jake Irvin. So there's a couple of and I think the New York Mets can do damage in that game tonight. So, and I like the over, as you know, in that game tonight, Mets and Nationals. So I think those could be a couple of home run props to keep an eye on there in that game tonight. What else do we have here? Yandy Diaz has gone yard twice against Carlos Rodon in the past. So there's something that certainly I'd be interested in. Freddie Freeman's got 2 bombs against Austin Gomber. I guess it's Austin Bomber. When it comes to Freddie Freeman, as in bombs hit against him.
Bomber or Bumber. He's a bum.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, it's been rough. There's no doubt for him. But there's definitely a couple that I'd be interested in there. And then this is one that's hard to ignore. Jose Ramirez, 3 home runs against Eduardo Rodriguez in the past. So J-Ram, Jose Ramirez here for the Cleveland Guardians might be worth a look here tonight as far as home run props.
Yes, I always like him. Well, I had him last night. I got to take a piece now. I always like him right-handed. Not that he's great left-hand, but I think he's got more pop. I love him against lefties.
Yeah, no doubt. Good stuff. All right, there you have it. All right, it's best bet time for this Tuesday MLB slate. Connor Mack, what do you got for best bet?
Yes, I was going to go Mariners here, team total. But I'll just give you the under here. Rangers, Royals, under 8.5. Best bet.
All right, Rangers, Royals, under 8.5 for CMAC with his best bet. And my best bet for this Tuesday slate, I'm going to go back to this. I've mentioned it a lot. I mentioned it early. I mentioned it just now when we talked about home run props. I really do think that game goes over the total. New York Mets, Washington Nationals, over 9, minus 110. I think we're going to see runs there in that game. Peterson's worse on the road. Irvin's just been bad, period, of late. And the New York Mets are starting to swing the bats again. They swung it well the last couple games against Seattle. Not to mention the Mets bullpen is still a concern. So Washington could do some damage late in the game, if not early. So Mets Nationals, over 9. For my best bet here for this Tuesday MLB card. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Robert Oliver Carlson, Timmy Tushu, Thomas Maggio, Robert Carlson, I already said Robert Carlson, Thomas Maggio, Justin McKelvey, Nick Alvento, GNL Photo, Corey Redbeard, Daniel Abuna, Banana Boat, Ross Pitts. We thank all of you guys. Zoe, Justin McKelvey. Like I said, we thank all of you guys for joining us here. Who else? Oldie, There we go. Everyone here in the chat, thank you for joining us here. Art P, Timothy Hake, early on in the chat. Gerald Jones, thanks to everyone. Brian Elfring, T. Moss, Don't Wake Daddy, good. Mark A, thank you to everyone joining us here in the chat, as always. And make sure you check out the college football week 0 hitting the books from yesterday. Broke down all 4 games. Make sure you check that out.
I'll have the games out, too, later today. I mean to do that, so.
There you go. And then remember, college football hitting the books goes back to its regular time next week on Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, because the show is going to be 2 hours long, guaranteed, next week. So it'll be a long one as we break down that first big card of the season for week 1. Very much looking forward to that. And then, of course, we'll have that show every Monday, the rest of the college football season. And basically now we're on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday with MLB shows here on hitting the books. We are going to have
some
shows
Wednesdays.
Yeah, most Wednesdays I looked, CMAC.
Are they still good?
Moving forward on Wednesdays.
Okay.
So, yeah, there's like 9, 10, 11, 12 night games most Wednesdays, the rest of the MLB season.
I didn't look.
We will give you a Wednesday show most weeks, exactly. So, yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Still Thursdays will be off. There's barely any night games on Thursdays. Pretty much all season, including the rest of the season. There's very few night games on a Thursday in MLB. So, yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday will be the schedule for the MLB shows rest of the way. Again, shout out to everybody. Rich H as well. Hit the like button on the way out. Thanks to everyone for joining us. For Connor Mack, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Tuesday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will be back tomorrow on Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific for another edition of the MLB Hitting the Books show. Until then, class dismissed.
Peace.